In the long, complex dance of power, one truth has always held steady: people are drawn to what they can see. They are seduced by spectacle, enthralled by pageantry, and captivated by images that strike their senses and emotions. Words alone rarely build empires or win hearts. It is what can be felt, seen, and remembered that shapes the will of crowds. Law 37 from the 48 Laws of Power urges us to harness this enduring truth, to create compelling spectacles. Throughout history, those who have commanded attention and bent others to their will have understood this instinctively. They've known that the human mind is visually oriented, and the masses will follow those who present themselves as larger-than-life figures. Think of Napoleon Bonaparte, a man of modest stature yet legendary image. He orchestrated his own myth, wrapping himself in symbolism, majestic portraits, and grand parades. It wasn't just the victories in battle that secured his power, but the powerful images he left behind, images that lingered in the minds of his people and enemies alike. Spectacles transcend logic. They bypass rational thought and go straight for the soul. A well-orchestrated event or symbol can distract, seduce, and mesmerize. Consider the Roman emperors who entertained the masses with games in the Colosseum. It wasn't merely about entertaining, it was about controlling the people's emotions and attention, giving them dazzling sights to fixate on, lest they turn their discontent toward the throne. Bread and circuses, they called it. Keep them fed, keep them awed, and you keep them loyal. In modern times, the principle still thrives. Politicians stage rallies with music, lights, and grand backdrops. CEOs unveil products like rock stars, turning simple announcements into global events. Celebrities manipulate their image with carefully curated spectacles, knowing that one powerful image can shape public perception more than 1,000 interviews ever could. Power is in the image, in the drama, in the story people see and retell. Why does this work so well? Because people crave meaning and are desperate for symbols to help them interpret a complicated, often indifferent world. A grand spectacle offers clarity, even if it's illusionary. It allows the leader or orchestrator to frame the narrative, dictate the terms, and cement their place in the public imagination. When people witness a spectacle, they don't analyze, they react, they feel. That reaction is a tool of control. Spectacles are not limited to public events or grand shows. They can be personal, intimate, and subtle. A leader walking calmly through chaos, unflinching and composed, creates a powerful spectacle of courage. A rival publicly humiliated through a single symbolic act sends a message far louder than a long-winded argument. A lover leaving an unforgettable impression through a grand romantic gesture weaves themselves into another's memory forever. The form of the spectacle can vary, but its impact is constant. It imprints itself onto those who witness it. There is danger in underestimating the spectacle. In the absence of one, others will fill the void. In politics, if a candidate lacks compelling imagery, an opponent will provide it, often to damaging effect. In business, if a brand doesn't control its image, competitors or disgruntled customers might do it for them. In relationships, if you don't manage the narrative of how you're perceived, others will write that story in your absence. Law 37 teaches that it's far better to consciously build your own spectacle than to leave it to chance. But there's also a caution hidden in this law. A spectacle that lacks substance can backfire. If people eventually realize they've been dazzled by smoke and mirrors with nothing real behind it, the backlash can be fierce. The spectacle must be tied to something authentic or strategically valuable. Napoleon's parades meant something because they followed military victories. A product launch works if the product delivers. A leader's calm presence matters if it coincides with wise decisions. The spectacle draws attention, but what stands behind it keeps that attention loyal. The art lies in balance, knowing when to dazzle and when to retreat into mystery, when to create noise and when to remain silent, letting the spectacle grow in people's minds rather than forcing it upon them. The most masterful spectacles are those that seem effortless, that feel organic, that leave people wondering whether they've just witnessed something historical or otherworldly. It's the speech that makes the crowd weep, the gesture that signals the beginning of a new era, the subtle move that speaks louder than words. Power, in its purest form, is invisible, but the path to it often winds through very visible territory. Those who command the stage, who leave indelible images behind them, control more than what people see, they control how people remember and interpret events. Memory is often manipulated not by truth, but by the most vivid, dramatic, or comforting image. Whoever provides that image shapes the narrative. We must also understand the personal application of this law. In day-to-day life, how you present yourself shapes how others respond to you. Do you move with purpose? Do you dress in a way that signifies confidence or command? When you speak, do people look up from their devices? Do your actions leave a lasting impression, or are you forgettable? Even in small groups, creating moments that people remember, be it through humor, insight, or sheer presence, marks you as someone to watch, to follow, to respect. The power of spectacle is cumulative. Each compelling image you leave behind adds another layer to your persona, another reason for people to admire, fear, or obey you. Over time, these moments become part of your personal myth, a myth that can elevate you beyond ordinary circumstances. They build a kind of symbolic armor that makes you harder to attack because attacking a myth risks alienating those who believe in it. One must remain vigilant, though. In chasing the spectacle, never lose sight of your endgame. The point is not to impress for the sake of it, but to command attention long enough to advance your interests, to secure your position, to draw resources and loyalty to your side. Spectacles without strategy are fireworks, brief, bright, and ultimately inconsequential. The true wielder of power uses spectacle as one arrow in a quiver full of carefully chosen weapons. And so, in the pursuit of influence, remember this: in a world crowded with noise, those who master the art of spectacle cut through it. They seize the stage and refuse to be ignored. Their image becomes legend, their actions folklore, and their presence a gravitational force. People will always look for something to believe in, to follow, to be dazzled by. Better that it be your spectacle than someone else's.